My name is Gray Drake. I'm the lead host over at CBR.com. And put your hands together for Phoebe Dynevor. Come on, Phoebe. I have seriously, I've had a lot of opportunities to be mad at, it's Reese. Ethan's, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of opportunities to be angry at him, and I feel like this one takes the cake. 'Cause I was like, are you for real? Like I was.
He's just such a sweet man in real life, so I know too much. He's too nice.
Man. And that was quite a stunt that you guys had on the bridge as well.
Oh yeah.
He clocked you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by this. Do you have prior stunt training? Was that something that you went into knowing how to do? Did you have to train for it?
No, Neil, as you can see with this movie, Neil was like, we're just gonna go for everything. So that was just like, he punches and you turn. And he misses you. It was pretty simple training.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Braver than me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, can we practice this 800,000 times,
Right.
please, so I can make sure? Can you explain for folks, first of all, that might not be familiar how it is on all the bigger movie and TV sets? What do you see as the actor? Like in terms of crew, it's kind of a lot of people, yeah?
Yeah, usually like 100 over, loads of people doing loads of different jobs. Some of them I don't know even what they are, there's so many. And a lot of it I don't even see it. I as an actor turn up and the set's been built and the lighting's been done and it's all set up for you and there's loads of people on set doing their job, waiting for you to finish acting. But with this, it was like 10 of us. We traveled the globe together as a crew. And it was very, very on the go.
It sounds really on the go.
Yeah.
It really looks it too. It feels it. It has like this energy to it that
Yeah.
most movies don't have.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that it was shot entirely on phones, you're kind of like, oh.
Yeah, entirely on iPhones, yeah.
And so even like what sound is sort of one of the more conspicuous things outside of a camera. Cameras are usually quite large. What was the sound person doing?
An incredible job.
Yeah,
It's hard to kind of get the sound in all these different locations. We'd all have mics, there wouldn't be any booms or anything, and we figure it out. A lot of the noise I think is part of the movie when it's not, music. You can hear the noise from the streets, and I think that adds so much to it. But yeah, it must have been so hard to get that sound.
Yeah, and it's all invisible.
Yeah.
That always amazes me. I'm like, where's the mic? I don't see it.
Right.
Can you talk about some of the riskier things that you did as an actual person shooting this role?
Where do I start?
How about theft? Let's start with theft.
Theft, yeah. I stole my first pair of sunglasses in an airport.
That's true?
Yeah. Neil talked me through it. He was like, this is what you gotta do and you'll get away with it. And I trusted him, so I did it, and it worked. So if you ever want to steal a pair of they were real shopkeepers, so I did fully get away with it. We did all give those back in the end, so they weren't actually stolen.
And was your heart just hammering out of your chest?
But it was for the whole movie, so it was just like another kind of challenge that Neil was like, today we're going to, there's so many moments, but I'm thinking right now about the train journey in India, which was also kind of crazy. I fully got off that train. We didn't know if it was gonna move at any point. It's not like we were in contact with the train operators. It was
you just got on it.
It was just like, I think it's stopping here for a bit, so you're gonna get off, you're gonna run down the tracks, and then we're gonna cut, and you'll come back on the train.
And also, did you just find that door, the emergency door, to open? Wow. See, that's wild. The energy of this movie has me convinced that every moment was real. Where I
It
was,
pretty much was.
right? Like,
There was pretty much no acting required in most of this movie because I'm just kind of reacting to what's around me.
right, it helps that your character is also like, oh my god, what is my life?
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck is going on? Another scene I was just thinking about was there's a moment where, and these moments would happen a lot, but this is just one I remembered, is when Maya's running away from the police in India. We're in like a square, and it was a really busy square, and I start to run, and real people were grabbing me because they thought that I was really running away from the police. So when you see people grabbing my backpack and like pulling me, they really were doing that. They were not backgrounding.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like partially proud of them and also really mad at them too.
Right, they were doing their job as good
Sure,
citizens.
citizens arrest, and then they're like, oh, she got away.
Yeah.
And then like,
She
do
was
I
nimble.
recognize her from Netflix's show Bridgerton? Like,
I didn't get much of that.
Tell me the best place that you shot out of all of these like truly amazing locations.
I think the pyramids, just
Unbelievable.
because it was just us there. So they shut down the pyramids and we were there, the sun was setting, and it was just us filming a couple scenes and like walking around, and it was pretty magical and very surreal. So I would say the pyramids, yeah.
They shut down the pyramids.
Yeah, I say shut down. I think they just were like, everyone goes home now and you guys can stay and shoot for
right.
an hour or whatever. So we were there alone, which was
Incredible.
so insane. Yeah.
Wow, and also the motorcycle scene had me on the edge of whatever seat I was sitting on.
Oh yeah.
And where's the camera in that scenario? What was it like to film that for you? Because were you going as fast as it seemed like you were going?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And also that was real Indian traffic,
Which is no joke.
Which is no joke.
Yeah.
Tuk-tuks and, you know, we were in, everyone else was real apart from our little motorbike situation. And if I remember correctly, that it was kind of attached to the end of the motorbike.
Wow, so they just put like a little rig for an iPhone.
A little rig for an iPhone, yeah, yeah.
I secretly wish that like during filming somebody would be like, hold on, can we take that again? I got a text.
Right.
But, like,
Yeah, these were out of use iPhones. They weren't like,
Right.
the director wasn't like, hold on, I've got to take a call. Yeah.
How do you think that this changed your experience as an actor? Because you have been on so many of the sets you've described, so many people doing jobs. You can see behind that facade most of the time, but this time, you were really in the energy of the area, and there are real people grabbing you
Right.
that have not been told this is fake.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just makes it feel like more of a team effort, and then going back onto a quote-unquote normal set was like very strange because you only feel like a very small piece of the movie when you're shooting a normal movie, and this felt like such a team effort and that we were all going through it together. It wasn't just me doing one thing, and like everything I was doing, you know, my makeup would be with me, and you know, it was all, and we were all together and in it together, and thankfully it was a great team and we were really close, and yeah, we just got to experience the whole thing together.
What was it like going back to a large set afterwards?
Boring. Because then you remember how much of being on set is just waiting
Right. Yeah.
for them to set the shot up. Like, oh, this is what we usually do, we just hang around.
So when you watch this, what are you most impressed with in pulling off? Like, toot your own horn for a
Where do
second.
I start? I don't know. I really see it. Really watch it and see everyone else's work. I see how incredible it was that we all managed to pull this off. And I also saw it and I was like, Neil, what the fuck? Because there were moments in the shooting that I guess I didn't really realize because we were moving at such a fast pace, but there were times when if we didn't get the shot, we were never going to get the shot, and we only had one chance. So like stealing the sunglasses, if it didn't work, we couldn't do it again. It was like,
Right, yeah.
you're asking to get caught. So there were moments like that, watching the film back, I'm like, wow, how did we pull this off? It's kind of incredible.
I didn't even think about that. Did you do multiple takes of things that you could, plenty of shots of just walking
Yeah.
or,
As a few things, like the scene with Reese and I on the plane, we had a couple takes of that. And yeah, there were times when we'd have a few, but there were also times when we'd have one go.
Right.
Like airport security and all that kind of stuff. It was like, okay, now you gotta get it.
I feel like maybe that nervousness or the energy of not knowing if you're gonna get it is all just beneficial to Maya.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
character.
she's feeling the same way. That's kind of why I say there was no acting required in a way, because it was just her feeling overwhelmed and going through, this crazy experience.
How did they approach you with this? Because certainly on the page it's an exciting storyline, like, oh man, Dad's gonna spy all this time?
Yeah, well, I was a huge fan of Neil Berger's work before I got sent the script. I read the script, I was like, okay. And then I had a Zoom with Neil, and when he explained to me what they were planning on doing, I was like, oh, this sounds amazing and challenging and exciting, and I was just in. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, like what a great thing to add to an interesting story.
Right.
When it really works and feels like a natural thing to do.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything about iPhone photography? Sub question, can you teach me how to use my iPhone camera?
No.
Did you, like, usually film sets are full of like measuring and making sure everything's in focus, like
Right.
there's kind of none of that?
No, none of that, no.
Do you even know if they shot in like certain mode?
No. I'm not the right person to ask.
Yeah, I mean,
I
because no time at all is taken up by any of that.
I know. It's pretty impressive. It just shows where technology is going, I suppose.
Do you wish that any of your former projects had been shot in sort of this energetic, low-key way?
I do and I don't. I think it really works for this style of movie. If we shot Bridgerton on iPhones, I don't think it would work as well.
Right.
So no, but I think it is amazing for this film.
Right.
And we were able to do so much more from filming it like this.
Recently I have to admit to you that as it clicked over into the new year, I thought, man, you remember when I was sitting here in the new year and I was watching Bridgerton and it was awesome. Like there was just that it hit at this exact right moment where we all needed entertainment and it was so fun and sassy and sexy and does experience, like when you're acting, that's kind of what you hope for, is catching the consciousness of people like that.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's affected your experiences since, like being a part of something so special?
Has it affected my experiences since? Yeah, I'm waiting for something to do the same thing.
Like you go through it.
Like, is it gonna?
That's the thing, and you're always like, man, is it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also the beauty of hitting the zeitgeist. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, right? What's the greatest fan interaction that you've had? Because it's,
Like people that have watched it.
right, and that are like, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, our Daphne, because that's secretly how I feel also. I'm like, every time I see, like I watch Fair Play, and I'm like, Daphne! But,
Yeah. I don't know, I've had a few. I had like a couple of crazy experiences in Egypt with young girls that had seen Bridgerton, which
Amazing.
was quite amazing.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh my God, girls in Egypt are watching the show. That's incredible.
That's
So
sensational.
moments like that are pretty special.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you say that filming Inheritance was, does it inspire you at all to perhaps get behind the camera someday? Do you feel like, wow, this technology is in a place where I might be interested in doing this?
Definitely in a producing space. I don't think I could direct. I don't think I have I just don't think I could do it. But
Yes, you could.
I don't know. Oh, I love you.
You can do anything.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Right, if you find the right thing.
If I find the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I could do it.
Stay open to it. I think
Exactly.
there's,
Yes.
there's something about watching you in front of the camera in such an intimate setup that makes me feel like maybe there's
Yeah.
something there. I don't know.
I've
It seems
always
like you're
said I
one
would
with it.
produce, like I really would love to produce. But maybe that will kind of, go. Maybe that will be directing as well. I don't know.
And what is, do you find that there's a commonality in the roles that you choose? Because I think one of my favorite things about becoming familiar with your work is that I can't pin it down. It's not any one thing, you're always very different.
I think the thread that I've noticed recently is that there's always like this underlying kind of like fiery passion or anger or just something a little fiery under there. I can't explain it in any other way.
I actually really like that, and I think that might be why I'm getting that vibe that you would be a filmmaker as well.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's what it is,
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, you have something to say,
Right, that's
and you're saying it.
lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank Phoebe Dynevor, everybody, for coming out. Inheritance, it is in theaters this week, and make sure that you tell everyone to please see it. Spread the word on social, and thank you for your wonderful taste and activities tonight.
Thank you guys.
Good night.